Hi YouTube, Regina here. We are back in New York and I am so grateful and thankful to be home. So personal finances, it can be a matter of life and death. And in this video, I want to share that my husband and I were in Florida during Hurricane Helene. And we were in St. Pete's and we were caught off guard by the storm. And we started getting these text alerts on our phone. Our condo is actually on a preserve, and so I think it's in Zone A, which is considered, well, most of Florida is low-lying ground. So, but because we're on a preserve, it's by the Tampa Bay, and it's at risk for flooding and surge. And so my husband sought counsel from someone in the condo, and thankfully they advised him that we should leave. And so we were able to get a hotel room and get our rental car to a lot by the hotel, a covered parking lot that they have raised. I guess they're, yeah, it's like lots in New York City too, where they had a raised lot so you're not going to be on ground level. And so we felt safe during the storm. And what ended up happening is, while our condo didn't get destroyed, thankfully, the cars that were in the parking lot at our condo, the water surge did end up coming in from the lake, and a lot of the cars were destroyed. And the communities around us that surrounded, the Tampa Bay, as well as the coast side, the Gulf, were destroyed because of the surge. So as we drove back on Friday, we saw so many cars just stalled on the road. We saw probably more accidents than I've seen in a year in New York in days, because a lot of the street lights were out, and at the intersection, folks would need to, if they came to a street light, they would need to treat that street light like a stop sign. And I don't think a lot of people really understood that. And so you'd see these crazy fender benders, but they were more like true accidents where like tires are bent up off the car, completely destroyed front or back ends because people were plowing into other people, not realizing that they needed to come to a stop, or the accidents from the intersection. And all this reminds me that money is so important for personal safety. It is the security of knowing that you could leave at the moment's notice that a storm is coming, and that you could get yourself and your family to safety. A lot of people in Florida, they have gone through these storms, so if they don't have money, they don't actually go to the shelters that are provided, and the shelters are really just like in schools that they closed down, and then they just put a whole bunch of cots. So people really don't want to be displaced, and they believe they're going to get through these storms. Had our condo experienced, or had the storm had torrential downpours as well as surge, there's no doubt in my mind that our condo would have been destroyed, and that a lot of people on first floor properties would have been in really dire situations, life and death. And there were people who needed to be, I think, in certain areas that they needed to be rescued. And all this just really, really brings to mind to me how lucky and thankful and grateful I am that we don't have to worry about these kind of things, about being able to pay for a hotel room, not worry about the cost, and just leave. Not everybody has that, but everybody should. And I really wish and hope that people treat saving for an emergency fund like a priority, because it is. I can't tell you how many people stayed back at our condo. And our unit faces the lake, and so that was the other thing that made us a little bit nervous. We just weren't sure how well the condo itself, it literally just got a new roof put on it. This week there was noises in the background of one of my other videos, and they just finished putting on a new roof. And so we were a little concerned. I'm like, oh, just what, God forbid. We were worried about that. We were worried about sustaining wind damage and having to be there for that. So when my husband went and sought counsel to, hey, what should we do? What do you recommend? And the condo thankfully advised him that we should leave. When we went to thank the guy that gave my husband this advice when we got back, he said he was glad that we listened, but because hardly anyone did. Most people just stayed back. And I truly believe people stayed back because of money. And that's so sad to me. Especially seeing all the accidents we saw, probably when the power kept flicking on and off and people not realizing what to do. The head-on intersection, well, not head-on, I guess it would have been the turning intersections, the people running into each other, people's cars stranded. We actually saw families with luggages waiting on the side of the road to be picked up. The whole thing was just really disturbing. And this is what happens when emergencies happen. People didn't leave, and now some people are forced to leave, and some people are probably displaced and don't have a place to go. Really sad to me, and my hope is that if you're and anywhere in the United States basically is at risk of some type of storm, that you're saving and building up an emergency fund. Even as you're paying off debt, you need an emergency fund. You need to be able to get away in these life and death situations. Anyway, this was a real sober one. I'm sorry. But I really am so grateful and thankful that we saved during the course of our lives, that shelling money at a hotel room last minute, it didn't, the cost doesn't cross our mind. It's about safety. And trust me, we're not big spenders, and we don't. Safety first. Anyway, I hope that everyone is doing well and staying safe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.